He is our friend Mike Robinson back here on College Football Weekly, and you were on the sidelines for the Toledo thumping of VMI in Week
Yes.
1, 66-3 the final. We knew it was going to be a lopsided game going in, but you had to have been impressed with what you saw, right?
Most definitely. I mean, if you're anybody, a Toledo Rocket fan, you're going to be excited about what happened. You saw a lot of good things, and we're going to start with how well the team came out with energy. The energy came out right. The defense picked up things quickly. There was a lot of questions about the front seven, and these guys came out performed pretty well, I thought, in the first couple series.
And at the quarterback position, Mitch Guadagni gets named the starter on Monday at the press conference. And Coach Candle said, you know, he's a guy who can run a little bit. 11 of 16 passing, 3 touchdown passes, no interceptions. Took care of the ball, and that's what Coach Candle wanted out of him, right?
Oh, he did exactly what he needed to do to be the starter here. He's not Logan Woodside. He's not Bruce Gregg. He's not none of those guys. He's himself. So he's trying to find his own identity. And one thing that I saw very well out of Mitch Guadagni is on the touchdown pass to Cody Thompson, he scrambled out the pocket. He didn't use his feet to get yards. He used his feet to look downfield, find Cody Thompson, put the DB in the pickle, and threw it over the top of his head. And it was a very, very wise and mature play by Mitch Guadagni. And I thought that's what kind of really made me say, okay, this guy's real deal. He can keep his eyes downfield and still make plays.
And that's what Coach Candle even talked about in the post-game press conference, saying that he saw the growth before his very eyes during that play. I mean, that's one play makes a big difference. Talking about Cody Thompson, I mean, he made his presence known right away, the second VMI possession with that punt interception, if you will. That was a big play, but then obviously 3 catches for 68 yards and a touchdown. What did you see from him?
Well, I'd be remiss not to mention you on that one. You know, you're the one that went viral with catching that clip, so that was very cool for you to be in the right place at the right time to catch that action happen. So we're grateful to have you as well in the Rocket Nation. And the good thing is, when Cody Thompson made that play right there, and it was very seamless, it almost looked like a handoff. It looked like it was meant to be. It was an omen. You said Cody Thompson, end zone, right here next to Larimer. It was perfect. And going along with the rest of the game, he did everything that you expected Cody to do. He catched the ball. He made very good blocks. And he's a guy that don't complain. So anytime he gets on the field, and you see, like Coach Candle mentioned in the presser, that, hey, Cody Thompson's on punt block team. You know, it doesn't matter where he's at on the field. He's going to make an impact, and that's what you want out of a senior leader.
And Cody is the definition of a team leader and a team player, and he gave credit to the special teams coordinator, Robbie Disher, in the post-game press conference, everybody but himself. You know, and that's what was interesting there. Turning to the backfield, 6 different running backs see action, and it wasn't just late in the fourth quarter. I mean, these guys were in the third quarter, and meaningful game experience for them. Bryant Koback led the way there, 2 touchdowns on his 9 carries. What did you see out of Bryant specifically?
Well, Koback, I mean, what you didn't see is you didn't see him in a Springfield uniform, but what you did see was he did the same things that he would do in a Springfield uniform, just right down the road. And what I like the most about Koback is how physical of a runner he really is. And people overlook that, and they say, well, he's got the speed, he's quick. He's very, very strong. And the way he ran the ball, he shuck a couple tackles to get there. He averaged 7 yards per carry. That's very, very good, but I'm not going to leave out Shaquille Seymour because he's another back that you just add thunder and lightning. Those two in the backfield is a nice little tandem.
So with those 6 running backs seeing action, Coach Kendall mentioned in the post-game press conference as well that each of those guys gained those reps in practice. They practice hard. They're great players. But going forward, I mean, you have Miami in week 3 after this bye week. So going forward, what do you expect to see out of this backfield?
Well, you expect them to be a little bit more healthier, and you expect to see these guys play a lot more football. I mean, this is a very good running back group. I mean, not many teams can feel comfortable to go 6 deep in their playbook. I mean, in their roster to go get guys to run the ball. Shaquille Seymour, Brian Koback, those 2. You got Art Tompkins, Navon McCrimmon made a very nice touchdown. So just a lot of guys out here. Even Nick Sims made an appearance, and Ronnie Jones. So these guys running the football is very good for the team. It helps the chemistry. It helps the locker room. Everybody can talk about, hey, I scored a touchdown, you scored a touchdown. Hey, let's continue to do this. But in case somebody gets hurt, you know that you got several guys that can come out there and help, especially with Miami coming in with a hard-hitting physical defense.
We talked about Mitch Guadagni and his 3 touchdowns, but we also saw 2 other quarterbacks, Eli Peters, which we expected. But then true freshman Carter Bradley got into the game in the fourth quarter, led a drive down the field, which resulted in a field goal from Jamison Vest. And he impressed you. I mean, this is a guy that you're super high on, and rightfully so. What did you see out of him?
you watch that young man spin the football. I mean, he's a football player. And watching Bradley Carter play football, it looks like he's just a natural. There was a couple times he got shook up in the pocket. He could have made some better decisions, maybe threw the ball away in the red zone. But one thing I liked was how he put the ball right on the spot.
Yeah.
I mean, he's very accurate, could possibly be the most accurate passer on the team, and he showed it with going 3 for 3. So he was smart not to take those passes to be incomplete. He got sacked, but he's a very good football player, and I expect to see a lot of him. But you don't have to play him now, because Eli Peters still played a very good football game as well. Threw the bubble screen very nice, hit a couple slants, did some good routes, but, he's a leader as well, so you can't count him out either.
This is a Toledo defense that was second in the MAC in interceptions last year. They forced 3 turnovers on opening night against VMI, but the defense was still not pleased with their performance because they gave up that field goal in the second quarter. Tuzar Skipper said it best in the postgame press conference, "We are not satisfied." Yeah. But what did you see out of this defense?
I saw growth, I saw maturity, and I saw leadership. Talk about the growth. You talk about the growth of the D-line, getting some leaders back. Tuzar Skipper, he's one of the better football players, and he's grown a lot over the past years. And anytime you have an injury season ending like he did, he didn't play for 11 months, he told us, that's when you got to mature. You got to grow up. You got to watch guys play in your position. So now you got to come back harder and stronger. But at the same time, all those guys love each other. You had Hines, the young guy, get in there and lead the way in tackling. Willie Ross did a really good job. Nate Childress. But also, I like the linebacking core. You've seen a lot of different guys get in there. We didn't look slow. We didn't look stiff. Richard Olakama made some very good plays, and Tyler Tafe did as well. But everybody else got on the field and played in that box. So being able to get them to play, get them to see the field, get them to get live action is what you want early in the season, because now you can put them on tape and evaluate.
The 66-3 win over VMI is big, but going into a bye week, week 2, that can't be the way that Coach Candle wanted the schedule drawn up. Now you have week 3 against Miami, a top 10 program, coming to the Glass Bowl. So I guess when it comes to that schedule, did you see enough out of this team in week 1 to give you confidence going into Miami?
Well, it's always hard to get confidence going into Miami. This is a powerful program that gets the top recruits year in, year out, and they're in the heart of the best place to find football prospects in South Florida. So one thing that I want to see out of Toledo Rockets is, them be able to bounce back and bring the same energy. We know VMI was a smaller school. They didn't have the big bodies up front. If you were standing on the sideline like you and I were, you could see the Rockets towering over this defensive line. That's not going to be the case next week. It's going to be a little bit more beef. It's going to be a little bit more speed, and there's going to be a lot more strength out there. So the Rockets are going to have their best foot forward. They're going to have their hands full, and with this front 7, they're going to really have to be able to maneuver with bigger linemen. This week, they breeze right through them as we expected. This next week coming up is going to be the real test. So these guys better be ready.
Is Mitch Guidani going to be ready?
Mitch Guidani will definitely be ready. He showed it.
Coach Candle didn't want to talk about Miami in the postgame press conference just yet, but that's why we bring a guy like this in, because he will talk about the Miami-Toledo game coming up in just under 2 weeks. He's our friend Mike Robinson. Catch him on Friday nights on Game Day Nation and right here every Tuesday night, for the most part, on College Football Weekly.